All right, good evening, everybody. Just wanted to do a quick little share of another grid charging experience. This one is a positive one. I've told you before, I don't do much grid charging at all unless I know that, some inclement weather's coming in and my batteries aren't sufficient. So as of 4 o'clock today, I think my batteries are around like 32%. And in southeastern Michigan, we have a winter storm warning. Let's see here. They're calling for anywhere from, 6 to 500 inches. Weathermen. It's Michigan. We're gonna get snow. I think the interesting thing about this time is we're just supposed to get some warmer weather, which then is gonna have some rain coming in, and then we're gonna have a flash freeze and then some snow. And so there's basically a lot of potential for some outages. And I wanted to make sure that I had enough battery power stored up to be able to run my house in the event that we lose grid power. So as of 4 o'clock, maybe a little after today, I started charging my batteries back up with grid power. And if you can hear in the background a faint fan noise, that's actually the noise coming from the inverters right now. We're charging with 25 amps off the grid from each inverter, which is putting about 47 amps into the battery. So let's step on over into the utility room and we'll pull out the thermal camera and see what we see. All right, before we step in the other room, I just wanted to show you the thermal camera that I have. I actually purchased this back in 2014 and it was about $350, but this was the very first model that came out. I actually bought an old iPhone S that just stays with this, but you can see that this is just a pretty big attachment that hooks onto the back of your phone. Nowadays, the entire thermal camera is basically this tiny piece on the bottom, which just clips in. But back when they first came out with this was the style that came. It's actually almost like an entire case that goes with your phone, which is why I just ended up picking up an old used iPhone 5 to basically keep with it as the camera itself. So as I said before, the new styles, basically just a tiny little 1-inch plug that plugs into the bottom of your phone. And I'll link down into the description below. Those now, I think they're actually on sale for maybe $180 if you wanted to get one for your phone. I know they've got separate ones that cost a whole lot more, and you can get cheaper ones that are significantly less, but I kind of like the Flirs because they're kind of the name that you know for thermal cameras. So let's take this in the other room and see if we can find any temperature problems. All right, so sorry about the noise. This is my phase 2 inverter. Over here is my phase 1. I'm trying to talk louder, so hopefully you can hear me. This is an older model thermal camera from Flir. So if you see the image freeze, it's just me having to recalibrate the temperature. But behind the display, we're getting about 97 degrees on inverter 1. And on inverter 2, it's about the same right behind that display. You're seeing these cables look warmer because right down here is where the vents discharge. So it's kind of deceptive, but if I bring it down below the conduit here, you'll see my negative is, 80 degrees. My positive is also around 80 degrees. This little hot spot right here, 111 degrees. I think that's actually going to be the hottest thing. It's actually my buck converter for my Raspberry Pi. Coming down to the Raspberry Pi, even the Raspberry Pi is a little warm, around 90 degrees. It's right about where the power plug comes in. Victron charge controller, 74, just under 75 degrees. Negative bus bar, 78. Up to the positive. Coming to cables, there's 76 or so, not too bad. Coming down into the disconnects for the batteries. Again, not bad, 75 degrees, looks good. And again, we've been running this for close to a half an hour. 80 degrees maybe, perfectly fine. Over to the battery shelf. There's the BMS for pack 1, 76. Some of this you might see is a reflection, 76, 75 degrees. Pop the top off the lid. All nice and cool connections on the top of the battery. There, I just recalibrated the screen. Coming down to number 2, BMS, 78 degrees. Getting a little bit of reflection off of these battery connections. 75 degrees on the negative. There we had a 78 somewhere on the positive. There we go, 80 degrees on the positive. And popping the top, looking at the top of the battery. Yeah, I know it's not really focusing very well. But again, no real hot spots that we're seeing as I pan across these battery connections. See if I can turn on the light. There, that's much better. Now you can see the balance cables, the bus bars, terminal posts. So all in all, charging with, what is it, 25 amps on each leg coming from the grid. There's a little warm spot right there, 94 degrees. You can see the temperature of the wall back there. You got all this hot air moving around, 80 degrees. You can see my hand. But looks great. If you don't have one of these thermal cameras, I highly, highly recommend investing in one. Jumping over to my tablet here, you can see this is my Sense app, my grid monitoring app. We've got 5,700 watts coming to an unknown device, which is basically the pair of inverters. Coming over to solar resistant, you can see we're putting 47, almost 4,800 watts into the battery, with about 6,000 watts coming from the grid. Our battery is currently at 42%, and we're putting about 88 amps into both packs. If I remember right, I think 56 amps per pack is about a 0.2C. So we're fairly close to a 0.2C charge rate. And then looking at the packs themselves, this is pack 1, 44 amps going into the battery with a very low delta on the cell voltages. Look at pack number 2, 51 amps going into the battery, and again a very low delta going into the battery. So kind of neat. Nice to see that even putting 25 amps per pack, you know, almost 100 amps through the cabling and everything, there's no issues, no hotspots. The packs are handling 50, just about 50 amps a piece, no problem. And I really don't see, unless I end up getting some crazy solar panels installed, getting real higher, getting a lot higher than, you know, 50 some amps at a time. I mean, these BMSs can handle 200 amps. I've got breakers installed for 125 amps, so, you know, there's still plenty of headroom. And the cabling is going to be able to handle that no problem. But just thought I'd share a positive experience with the grid charging. Alright, I'm tired of yelling. So I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, and we'll catch up with you later.